Hello, and welcome back to another video where I introduce you to a new story that you might have not heard about, or it's just something just not many people talk about. Well, whenever I have free time, I go around looking for new series to read or watch, and currently I have been stuck on webtoon. Everybody knows that website, and it's just there's way too many stories there. Over inside there's just a truckload of great series, with many already crossing the 100 chapter mark or even more. You probably already know the biggest names on the site, like God of High School, Tower of God, or Noblesse, but there are even more series than just these few big ones. Just think of Hardcore Leveling Warrior, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, or many others. And so let me start this here. My name is Pyro Primer, and the series I want to talk about today is quite short in comparison to the ones I've named just now. The name of the series is Samadhi, and Samadhi has only 38 chapters, so if you want to read it, there's nothing to lose here in my opinion. So let me talk a bit about this. Let me give you a quick summary or the description of this webtoon. Samadhi is a story about Yiba Kim, who only ever dreamt of living an average and peaceful life. Nothing more, nothing less. Sounds simple so far, right? But when he finds himself with supernatural powers, Yibak must now learn to hone his new abilities and get used to the fact from now on his life will be anything but normal. So with this, it pretty much sounds like every other story you would expect. But well, it's not like you would think. There is way more in the depths and everything else than you just think from this description. So let me talk here. Samadhi is way more than you might think from the first look at this. And that's also why I first had to actually look up the word Samadhi, because I thought, is this just a made up word, or does this have an actual meaning, and where does it originate from? So let me tell you something about the word Samadhi. Apparently it's a state of intense concentration, which can only be achieved through meditation. For example, in Hindu yoga, this is regarded as the final stage at which union with the divine is reached. It basically sounds like something you would normally hear in one of these Chinese cultivation stories. And I literally have no idea what the definition of this word even means after I researched it. So if anybody of you guys know more about Samadhi, the origin of the word in our real world, and what is actually the real focus of the thing, please explain it to me, because I'm very interested in that right now. I've also thought that in one of the manhwa that I'm reading right now, I literally saw the word Samadhi shortly after I read this webtoon and informed myself about the word. So it's just, maybe now that I know the word, I will recognize it more often, but it's probably well used in many different series. So let's continue. We are already pretty deep in philosophical questions, I guess, with this. And that's exactly what stood out to me in the plot of Samadhi. It's a story packed with moral questions, a very nice art style, and a writing style that just makes you want to read at least one more chapter every time you finish the last one. And that's just how I finished all of it in a single day. I personally went into the series not expecting much, not expecting too much. Maybe I just wanted some heavy action scenes or just some nice fights, because I just finished another action-heavy webtoon before I started Samadhi. But I for sure didn't expect a very fresh take on the whole hero and villain trope that opened up a lot of questions about society for me, because we truly do live in a society. And to finish this short review off, let me just quote a few of the comments people on webtoon made, and show some that basically summarize the series well and show you a lot of things about the story that just happened in these chapters where they commented on, but they don't spoiler anything. But if you don't want to go in completely blind after just what I said, this is probably where you should stop. But now let me read you some comments here. First, this webcomic feels like it's about the collapse of society. and people taking justice people who take it upon themselves to judge and change their environment. Take justice into their own hands apart from the superpowers that just appeared there. The story would have been probably just as good without the superpowers. So, without the full insight or the scope of the damage you may deal by just taking things on yourself, I get caught up in that thought process too much. This is what I have been needing to hear. The author is just so good at making deep parallels. I simply enjoy every panel. Written by Dong Table. Second comment is by Crazy Comics T_T. And it says, it's super interesting because I don't know if the author knows about this, but if they did, that is amazing. Samadhi in Hindu or Buddhist terminology means light before death, and in many Indian languages like Telugu it means funeral or burial grounds. Either way, the title really makes me intrigued about the plot. Props to the author for knowing the meaning. And now, third comment. You're a nobody trying to be a somebody. I hate this line. It's like an ant calling another ant insignificant, and then getting killed under someone's shoe. Humans are equally pathetic, and it's even more pathetic when they try to rank themselves above the level. Written by Alex Wayne. Fourth comment. This is such a good start to a complex plot. Both the main character and the antagonist have great powers, but the villain uses his for selfish, petty reasons, and he brings out those motivations in the people who support him. Meanwhile, the MC has the power to do a lot of good in the world, but doesn't want the responsibility accompanied by it. The antagonist's villainy is forcing him into the conflict, otherwise the MC wouldn't even fight him basically. I'm really interested to see if the protagonist will gain altruistic motivations over time that become a positive influence on the public. Written by Elowen of Holborn. And the last comment by Black Lotus. Funny thing about the internet and the beings who use it. They will constantly talk shit and call you out to villainize you, but when they become the villains, the ones getting attacked, it can be surprising how quickly they change their tune. Also, just want to point out, this guy isn't a hero like he thinks he is, he's just an opportunistic villain. So, after hearing what a handful of people just said about Samadhi, maybe you got a better picture of what it actually is about. But all in all, I really can only recommend the series to you, as it pretty much can be consumed in a single day and you will not regret it. I mean, that is the way I took in all of Samadhi, and I just had to make this short video about it. Just after finishing the 38 chapters, I instantly thought I need to share this with people who don't know this yet. And before it goes on the fast pass or daily pass on webtoons. So if you don't want to wait every day or need to spend money to read those 38 chapters, please get onto it quick. So I just want to say I read it from start to finish, and the webtoon performed very well in my opinion, leaving me with a satisfied feeling after only 38 chapters, which not many manga can do in my opinion. Because most of the manga that actually have good endings go on for at least over 100 chapters. So hopefully I could introduce you to a new series to check out, and if you already read the webtoon, please tell me your opinion about it, but make sure to mark spoilers for people who haven't read it yet. So we will see each other again in the next video, I guess. Stay safe, stay cultured, and most importantly, stay hot. Pyro out.